welcome to Past, Present, and Future, or Three Questions, the podcast where we learn about people's career journeys, how they got to where they are today, and where they'd like to go to next. I'm Parrots Cohen, a technologist and a wordsmith, and in my time in industry, I've been fortunate to work with both large companies and small startups, alongside a number of very talented and hardworking individuals. This podcast is some of my conversations with them, where we learn about their journeys and what motivates them. If you'd like to be in the podcast, please feel free to reach out. You don't have to have a certain level of seniority or a number of years of experience. We all have something to share and learn from each other. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast or get involved in the collaboration, we'd also like to hear from you. All right, looking forward to our journey together as we learn more about each other and enrich ourselves in the process.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Past, Present, Future Pod. Today we have with us Azhar. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
Let's start at the beginning. You really have a great story about kind of just both personally and professionally, kind of how that all progressed. Would love to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I think my background is very interesting because I can split it to the two parts. Previously, before the US, I worked for Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan as a Central Asia experience. I worked for the Central Asia countries over 15 years, and I moved, not 15, 10 years, and I moved to the US, and here is my year number 7. Yes. Overall, it's, I would say 15, 17 years. It's a lot. And I worked in program management, strategy, and now I am in affiliate marketing and partnership.
So really kind of we'd love to learn a little bit more kind of about both the kind of previous US experience and kind of definitely understanding how that kind of bridges into some of the work and some of the kind of I think program management and transformation that kind of, and I'm assuming there's a lot of different kind of cultural nuances, but we'd love to kind of get a little bit more of a picture of kind of what that previous work looked like. And we can kind
Yeah,
of talk about some of the more recent stuff and kind of and how that bridges and how that transfers and all that evolving.
yeah, love to share that. Speaking of my previous experience, program management, I worked for a telecom company. It was one of the largest telecom company in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. They owned the network that ran the services in 10 countries. So it was quite a big company. I grew from target marketing, and then it's from call center, outbound calls. I think it was a thing early 2010. And then I started building my career towards program management, project management, and then reached the senior manager in the strategy department. We ran beautiful campaigns for global events, for internal events as well as external events. So it was a quite a very vibrant experience before the US. And if we talk about the bridge, like all this, what I've learned working for telecom industry, since it was global company, a lot of things are the same as we have here in the US, but the cultural things a bit different. So the headquarter of our company was in Amsterdam. It's a Netherlands company. I learned how to manage projects cross-cultural, and it was diverse teams. Um, while I reached this career goal, like I was in senior manager in strategy, I decided that I want something more. And I look at the different programs. I was like, okay, I may need to do my MBA or maybe Master of Science in Business, or what I can do, what I can learn more to continue growing as a professional on the market. And my focus was in marketing. It's like, okay, I can start building my career in marketing. What's the best country to get this degree? Who's the godfather for marketing? And I was thinking, okay, let's think about the US, and then let's think about United Kingdom, England, and then East Asia, Malaysia, and Singapore. I took trips to a few months to Malaysia. I took 3 months classes, English classes actually. And I studied there just to get the vibes and if I want to stay there longer. I loved everything, but it's like I think it's not where I can learn a lot. Then I took a trip to UK. I stayed there 1 month and then traveled in European countries. I learned a lot as well. And then my last destination was San Francisco. I came to the school, learn again, same thing, English, even though my English was pretty good, but it was the best start point to diving into the culture and have some time, like part-time school, part-time learning and exploring the land of opportunities. And I met a lot of wonderful people, and I was like, I think it is the country where I can continue my education, learn here, and grow here. So that was my beginning of transitioning from um, telecom industry and program management to marketing.
And I guess what would you say kind of is about kind of the discipline and the realm of marketing that you feel kind of called to you so much or kind of feels aligned with what you wanted to do and what you are doing currently?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of marketing, again, what I do right now and where we are, marketing is evolving a lot and it evolved, it's continuing growing. And I think there is no one definition what is marketing and how we can define it. I worked in digital marketing and now it's affiliate partnerships. It is the same marketing, but it's a different part of the marketing. With AI coming to this field, we see how marketing is changing. It's not anymore like running A/B test and doing a lot of manual things. Now this will be delegated to AI. In affiliate marketing, we manage partners that they're in the field. They drive traffic for the brands and their work changing and they're not doing the same thing like 2 years ago that we're used to do. Google algorithms, it's everyone knows that it's unpredictable right now to see like what will be the right thing to post to be able to be like organically on top of the search. Like search engine is changing, performance marketing changing, and I think as a marketer, we need to be learning all the time. So it absolutely aligns with my personality. I'm life learner. I love learning all the time and taking different courses and learning from people and learning from this podcast as well. Meeting people and staying in touch, it gives you this energy to continue growing as a professional.
It's amazing. Um, and taking kind of this approach of learning and kind of uh and growth and kind of learning a little bit more about marketing. Love to hear a little bit more about what you're up to currently, kind of in your current role, as much as you would like to share.
Yeah, of course. I work in web hosting company at the Liquid Web. I'm a senior manager of enterprise affiliate partnerships. So the name is pretty long, but overall, what I do right now is to find the right place where we will be presented and we can educate our audience because web hosting, it's very simple, right? When we think about web hosting, how you can talk about it and how you can educate, it's very obvious. But for example, web hosting for organizations in digital forensics or for legal, which is digital forensics, finance, healthcare, it's a different approach how we can help them to mitigate all the risks that they may have with regulations like HIPAA compliant, etc. Um, my role is to help this audience to get the right content that they will educate them and understand why do they need to move from shared hosting to private cloud or to dedicated managed services. So it's all about building up right content, working with the right publications, finding right audience, and then bring this information towards our audience and build this strong partnership with publications. And moving forward right now with the next year, we're thinking like how to help audience not just learn about it, but understand and then take the next step. Like what I can do right now, I have like I own urgent care. How I can switch everything to the web hosting provider that will help me to manage the server. So it's all about education, thought leadership, all about this. Again, by the end of the day, we're talking about the funnel, but I love this. It's a bit different than just the regular performance marketing that I used to do previously.
Whereas like in the past, there's an existing product with a more existing defined market. In this case, you're kind of in a sense creating the market by kind of enabling businesses and users to understand the tooling available to them. And really that first level layer, it's not even about kind of a marketing or specific journey you want the user to go on. It's more about kind of world building. This is the
Right.
universe. This is kind of the current state. This is building those educational marketing modules to kind of to onboard the user into this kind of new universe of understanding and knowing the tools available to them. And then you kind of define the kind of that lower level of the funnel of what's the call to action, kind of what the actions you want to kind of encourage users to take. But really that first piece is really kind of the education and kind of that really kind of building that brand or kind of that audience in a sense, which is that's extremely fascinating.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you have tech and marketing, like you're right in the in between. You have a strong tech background, and now you're more building. Like, I would love to learn more about like what do you do right now and how your tech background is working with marketing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think in my current role and kind of in previous roles as well, I've had the opportunity to utilize some of my tech background to work on marketing, whether it was kind of while I was at Google working on kind of building a sophisticated email strategy, kind of in marketing operations. It really is, I think it's both kind of tools. One is kind of a tool of brand, of kind of interactions with audience and kind of encouraging consumers to engage more deeply with the brand and to have more value from the tooling that is there. And really kind of the technical tooling enables you to be more sophisticated, to make sure that you're utilizing the data, utilizing the tooling, and really kind of help provide the right messaging to users at the right moment. And
Right.
kind of marketing helps you craft that narrative and helps you craft the content, and the technical tooling and the analysis and the data helps you provide it in the right way and kind of and help really kind of customize and tailor it. And I think for me, I'm newer to the level to the world of brand in a sense. The more I learn about it, the more it's definitely very fascinating for me. And at its core, it's a similar aspect. There's kind of those core kind of scientific principles of the prime motivators for users and kind of our prime needs and understanding that from both a psychological and social lens enables you to build a more coherent experience relying on that technical tooling and infrastructure, which I was fortunate enough to have kind of earlier on in my career.
Yeah, I love that. Love the example that you brought. That is a narrative that we're bringing and using the tool to deliver this message. And I think it's incredible explanation when we talk about tech and marketing. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the question. And definitely kind of whatever happens with AI kind of going forward, it's all about kind of accelerating a lot of those patterns and those toolings. Which brings me to the future. Um, where do you kind of see the world of marketing moving towards, or even kind of more on a more micro level? Where do you see kind of your own career moving towards in the future as you kind of build upon that background of kind of global coordination and kind of in marketing and kind of different niches within marketing and what you're doing now? Where would you kind of like to see your career going, or is there any kind of personal projects you like to kind of nurture and grow?
Yeah, love to share that as well in future. Um, yeah, speaking of about the future, I think everyone knows about AI, that AI is going to change a lot of things. And I took a walk like a couple days ago. I was walking and chatting with ChatGPT and then asking some questions back and forth. And I was like, wow, even like my walking sessions changed. It's like our behavior is changing and customers' behavior is changing as well. And expectations from the product is changing. And while we know that AI can deliver any message and solve like most of the problems, it's not a decision maker. So I think marketing and overall like humanity will go towards building relationships stronger, because human will stay the final decision making point. Hopefully it's not going to change. But I'm envisioning that AI will help us to free up from manual things that marketers do. Like, for example, A/B tests, that we used to spend a lot of time to just building up these campaigns and then tracking all these metrics. Now it will be done by AI, and marketing is growing towards building relationships. Like, people will choose the product that they will trust. They will think about, okay, this is sustainable, they take care of the planet, or they do good. It's my envisioning for marketing. If I speak about myself in a micro level, I want to build more relationships and expand my network. And since I shared earlier in our conversation that I am pretty new to the United States of America, and it's my year 7. For in this 7 years, I learned a lot, and I'm happy to share with those who right now just building their career in corporate America. And I was dreaming about building this space where young women or women in corporate America, new to America, they can find support, and they find the place where they can grow together. So my friend Maria Gordienko, I reached out to her, and we started building together the community, and it calls She's New to America Pro. Speaking of this community, I didn't expect that my first call to action on Threads will bring over 200 signups, and right now we have 134 ladies. They joined to our community. We hosted over 5 already events. Every week we do events about career development, about finance literacy, about wellness and health and fitness. So that's my passion right now, to help young women, and well, not just young, all women in corporate America to grow together. And speaking of my career, I see myself, I want to grow an executive level and then leadership positions, but being able to grow, I need to practice my leadership skills. So that's my envision, that I will be working with this community and learning, continue evolving, and growing to the next position, head of growth or more. So we'll see.
Well, that's fascinating. I think to your first point, it's definitely seeing marketing and other disciplines and moving away from some of the more kind of tactical and functional pieces, and that kind of being able to being offloaded to AI and AI agents, and really kind of more about the strategy, more about kind of the human component and kind of in how the consumer relates to the brand. And really, really great to hear about kind of what you're doing in terms of community building. And it's community building is not just kind of providing that platform for people to connect, but it's providing the tools. And I think what really helps people, especially to succeed in these environments, is having kind of tooling and frameworks and things that others may take for granted. But when you're new to an environment or new to a country, makes such a world of a difference. So really, really great to hear about all you're doing there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today and just sharing your story, sharing your experience. And I'm sure the listeners will find it very, very valuable. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting and having me. I really enjoyed this conversation. And thank you so much for our listeners.